A child could end up in our neck of the woods in any variety of ways. Just neglect, abuse, a family disaster, a grandmother or a grandparent that cared for the child and has passed away, or just doesn't have the means to take care of the child anymore based on their behavior.
We have a lot of high-risk kids, children with developmental disabilities, kids with mental health diagnoses.
But at the same time, they were very sensitive kids. They were feeling their circumstances. They wished they could have more. They wanted better for themselves. Abbott House was able to help supply that because we were taught as staff to embrace them as they were our own.
We try and keep kids in foster care, out of hospital settings, out of residential facilities, and keep them in the community with numerous different supports, whether it be in the home, in the community, or in the school.
The main cause has always been the economics, social, and a lot of the issues haven't been addressed living in the communities.
What we found with our kids who are developmentally disabled, the program has been really beneficial in that it can provide supports that fill that gap prior to them reaching adulthood. So we do provide services such as dayhabilitation, which can teach them basic independent living skills such as hygiene, budgeting, things of that nature. And then we find that a lot of our kids, as they get older, they then transition into our adult programs because now they've reached the age where they can utilize these services that were not initially available to them. Typically, a child has been placed in numerous different foster homes, several failed placements, usually is acting out a lot in school, presenting aggressive behaviors, or we also have a lot of kids who may be withdrawn and are isolating. We do have children who are at risk for suicidal ideation, self-injurious behavior. So the typical child who gets referred to our program is a child who's really struggling to maintain any kind of permanency in a home. And that's really the purpose, to provide that additional support to keep kids who struggle in a foster home setting and help them achieve some kind of permanency, whether that be adoption, independent living, or even return to parent. One of the reasons it's been so successful is that we don't want kids to be growing up in facilities. We want them to be growing up in a community setting with foster parents, with all of these natural supports that many other kids get to benefit from. In most of our cases, the children have all the skills that they need to be successful. They just need that additional push and that success and that support to be able to thrive.
The impact of Abbott House over the years and the positives behind that has been incredible. And there's young men out there that have been doing really good and have come upstanding citizens. That is because of Abbott House and the time that myself and others put into them.
We've been able to see numerous successes, whether it be adoptions, graduations from the program. I have one case in which a child was in several different failed placements. She loves going out to different pizza places. She joined the cheerleading squad. She was volunteering for the church youth group. Just so many positives from a case that, had you read it on paper, you would have thought that this child would have never attained permanency. Instances like that are the reason that I fell in love with this field. Seeing these little things, whether it be a child joining the cheerleading team and being excited to share that with us, or having a child go off to college because we've provided those academic supports that they needed. Their resiliency is motivating. The benefit is that it really works hand in hand with all of the other programs that Abbott House provides. We really encompass and support the family as a whole. All of the programs that we provide within Abbott House work in conjunction to really wrap ourselves around the families and individuals and ensure that their needs are supported. One of the things that we do find challenging is funding to provide the kids with various experiences. Many of our kids had never gone apple picking. Based on the program funding, we don't get that additional funding. But we'd love something as simple as being able to take the kids to see a Broadway show. We have these big dreams for these kids because they have big dreams for themselves. So we'd love opportunities to be able to give back to them in that way. If I were to tell anybody what they could get out of giving to Abbott House, it's looking at the children that they're supporting. Hearing about a child graduating and going on to college. It's hearing that 3 kids were adopted within the month. It's seeing the smile on the child's face when they actually feel like they're worth that positive feedback. If I had one wish for Abbott House, it would be to continue to hear about all of the positive growth any of the kids, the adults, the families experience after they've no longer left us. It's always nice being able to hear that feedback 10 years down the road and how the kids are doing, how the families are doing.